He is a DM. He can do some art. This is DM2Art. Cam, 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 cam. All right. Big reveal. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Whole party. Get some real closeness. Get a better screen going. Because you got all these good screen options. Ooh, screen options. This is the intro to end all intros. So, did a little size tweaking. Don't love Morgain's size. It's a weird balance. I've never visualized elves before in my campaign. I'm still not certain on some of Morgain's facial features. I'm still doing minor tweaks. I did a lot of work to his mouth because I hated his positioning and all that jazz. So I'm still not quite sure on the height because I needed to match Balrin's delicate elf features because all elves by nature look delicate no matter how rugged they might be portrayed. And both our elves like being badasses. So I need Morgain to be badass, but at the same time, he is sort of crouched down and in front, but he feels small. So, and I don't want him to feel small comparatively. Yeah, that's what I felt. I felt he does look short. And he shouldn't look short. So it's a weird comparison because when you start to scale him up, suddenly his hand feels like that's too big. He physically feels like being bent over like that. He's almost like Wavin or Kodo size. So somewhere between here and what I just sized up to is the correct Morgain height. But the good news is, and this is good news because I did a lot of work to make sure it would be, he's at the appropriate amount of pixels so that I don't get a lot of image loss or compression loss by messing with that. So we'll figure it out. But that's not what everybody's here for. The 6 of you are here for today. So here we got our Balrin. Looking good. Our Skeezer. And our Koto. Always looking good with the Koto. Koto's about to look a lot better because he's going to be like a full sculpture soon. And then ready? The emo edgelord of the group. Fulcrum. Love Fulcrum's lighting. Because he's the 4th, I'm getting much comfier with a lighting range that I feel is more full. A good value range makes for a better, more three-dimensional work of art. And honestly, I think you can compare Kodo's armor, where I relied heavily upon texture to do the work for me. Whereas when you look at Fulcrum's, I did a lot of that work myself. So who knows? I might actually go back in and touch up Kodo's armor even more. But we'll see. We'll cross that line when we get there. I have kind of fudged their heights. If you look, I put the scale guide in, and I'm close, but I'm kind of fudging it right now. Because no matter what, I even though Balrin's 5'5", he just feels like he should be taller, even with the hat. So I don't know. Working on it. Having done Fulcrum's close up. Check it out. Having done Fulcrum's close-up with all these face values and his edges versus his tones, and how much I worked his eyes, I actually want to go back into Valorant. So I'm probably going to do some minor tweaking to some lighting up in here. I feel like cheeks a little chin's a little and just working some subtlety because it feels a little hazy and soft, and I like a nice sharp edge to value when a sharp edge would be appropriate. Also, I feel like his neck is oddly bright, and I don't think it should be that bright. Just because he's wearing a giant hat and a giant collar, so there should be more shadow cast there. But that's the nature of art. You look at your new work and you compare it to your old work, and you see how far you've come, and you only think to yourself, you know, that's not, I could do better. So that's just kind of how it goes. That's about the size of it for that. So Fulcrum is done for now until I find something else that makes me mad. And that's our Fulcrum. I had a lot of fun finally getting the lighting correct on the tattoo. So now not only are the threads bright when in sunlight, but they also fade into shadow as the lighting wraps around the arm. I had some fun working the light and shadow over the veins right here in the hand. It was good times. So, there we go. Kodo is about to star as his own sculpture, y'all. Thanks to the genius of Jeff's dad, David Lee Pancake. So check it out on Sunday. Sorry about an early plug, but on Sunday at, I believe, 3? And Jeff, Rain Survives, will correct me in the chat, I'm sure. But at the Twitch channel DL Pancake, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you will see David Lee Pancake making our Kodo into a real sculpture. And I'm not only psyched for us, I'm specifically psyched for Clint. There's something really magical about watching a concept art go from just being a picture to being a real thing. That's just, it's so cool. And across the board, it always begins with concept art, but that doesn't change the fact from when you actually get to see it real, what that all could mean, you know? So, now that our Fulcrum is done and shadowy, ooh, so grim. We are now going to begin with Morgain, and I've already done some Julia Child pre-prep Morgain work. For those of you who don't know Julia Child, she ran a cooking show in the 80s. She had a signature strange voice. And most importantly, she was a spy during World War II. No joke. Look it up. It's fascinating. Hey, you know, the cooking lady. Oh, also the spy for Britain. Oh, this is fantastic. Sorry. It doesn't take much to entertain me. Sorry for you guys watching me stumble through setting up DM2Art in the first place. I am going to teach myself Streamlabs a little bit better, so Streamlabs doesn't look as garbage when I start. I'll probably get like an intro screen that's like a nice transition and actually starting. And the good news is I have smarter people than me in my group that help me with that, because I know how to make a game and how to make things pretty, but I don't really know the other stuff. Back of Morgain's head seriously started pissing me off like just now. I don't want my elves to look like aliens, and I just don't like how elongated his head is. It almost feels like he's the way Eladrin are portrayed in Warhammer 40k. If anybody's seen them, they took all the features of an elf and extended them, and that's just driving me bonkers right now. So I'm going to layer via copy that on top of itself. So that's the skull directly on top of itself. And now I'm going to warp it, and hopefully maybe this is the thing that was driving me bonkers with Morgain, and maybe this is the thing that'll make me feel better. So I'm going to move this over and bring it down. It needs to come back a little bit, because in a 3/4 turn like that, I can't have the neck come up into nothing. So why do I hear water? That's not good. I should not be hearing water. I'm in my basement. So now I'm going to put up a layer mask on the original illustration layer. That allows me, if anybody remembers, to paint away selectively parts of the original illustration. And that way, if I want to return them at any moment, I can. And that looks much better. Because I can, yeah, I like that a lot better. I feel like it's too tall though. I feel like we're making it the height of his head go really tall. So I think I'm going to warp that down to gotta get the arc of the hairline to flow as if his skull is appropriately domed. But then I want the height of it to curve down more. Warp is kind of amazing because it is the baby version of King Daddy Liquify and allows you to really go in and do like silly putty stretching with your drawing without really compromising too much of what you initially wanted to do. Nope, still don't like it. See, part of the devil of this is head tilt. Artists, we train ourselves to draw. And we tell ourselves a lot of the time that the most difficult thing to draw, and so in a lot of ways the gold standard of the ability to draw, is a person. Just because there's so much stakes in drawing it. Like if you're doing a portrait and it doesn't look like them, it doesn't look like them. And now you've not only attempted to draw somebody, you've also offended their sensibilities. You've made them question what they actually look like when you're drawing them. So when we try and draw a person for the first time, which is most artists, the first approach is usually straight on mugshot. And it's because what's the greatest resource that we have is our own selves as a reference. So a lot of people start with self-portraits because they're way less likely to offend themselves while they're training themselves. And how are they going to look? Mirror or a selfie. And then what's their reference? Straight on. It's almost always straight on, So most artists learn how to draw a human by having drawn staring straight at a camera. So then we all get really good at mugshot. Like that becomes the standard. So mugshot is, oh, what'd you miss? I revealed Fulcrum and now I was staring at your image. And I'll duplicate the original cam, but I was staring at your image and I hated how pulled back into distance the back of Morgain's skull was. It was looking like a Warhammer 40k Eladrin or like an alien xenomorph or legit any alien where the back of the skull gets pulled oblong. And it was too much. So I'm dialing it back so it seems more in the realm of humanoid. And it's dialing your hair down and I'm really digging it more. It was something I didn't realize had been pissing me off for a long time. So there we go. Nope. Don't want to get rid of that ear. Okay. Time to doctor this end too. So got to erase this part. And now I'm going to grab. Okay. I'm going to grab this chunk of the hair. Wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. I should duplicate the layer and delete the layer mask. So that's our original now. And now I'm going to apply the layer mask and grab this hair. above the brow with the ear. I'll actually layer via cut that, which creates this seam line, which I hate every time. And normally that'd be a big no-no. I would say, never do that. But we're going to drag this down as original copy, original, like OG original. No, I don't want in the sources folder. Don't tell me that. You do what I say, not the other way around. Photoshop. Get lippy with me. And clicky clicky. There we go. So now I'm going to warp down this new chunk. So my new drawing meets my old drawing. And I can make it as seamless as possible. So that's that part. And then I can paint the rest if I don't like it. I will merge that down. I will merge this down. And now, well, I missed a flaw, didn't I? I got a little bit of weirdness back here. Got to paint that away. That's gone. I got some oddity here at the ear. He is not a xenomorph. Canon. Okay. Don't listen to Cam, everybody. So, got my paintbrush, doing it the hard way. Just straight up painting it in. There's some real strangeness that happened down here when I wasn't looking. I will apply this layer mask. Should be this layer. Is that head right there? Merge that down. And Morgain's tone, not vocally speaking, like his character tone has been, an entertainer that likes the attention, but at the same time, this strange mix of entertainer / badass. Like, so that's a strange way to play it. In a weird way, I kind of see Morgain like the same tone almost as certain styles of like professional wrestler, because it's the same formula. I'm an entertainer, but you shouldn't mess with me. My entertainment is based on being intimidating, and my entertainment is based on, yes, I'm here to take the stage, but you also shouldn't, threaten me. So in that sense, from a visual approach, we need to make Morgain both like a little frugal, like a soldier would be, but also he needs to have a touch of drama, a touch of theatricality. It's a really odd mix. So I'm just sort of treating it like it's all about style, and so in that sense, he is metal, he's like, you look at the guys in Metalocalypse, and yes, they're badass, but at the same time, they bother to put on makeup like clown makeup. So, how badass can somebody be when they're putting on like face paint? I know you're like, yeah, but Kiss is badass. Like, yes, but inherently when you see people putting on face paint, it's not war paint. It's not like they're smearing it slowly across their face like they're going to go to war. It's like carefully brushed in like a makeup artist. And there's nothing badass about that. I've done it. It does not inherently look like it's a metal act to do that. So I always find that to be a weird dichotomy. So tweaking his hair there to get it looking sharp. Okay. I gotta do some line work up here because now we've lost some of our line. And that line needs to come back in. So I got a small brush. I color sample from its friends. Coming in here. Just going to line the edge. And there we go. Tweak that ear. And erase down that edge so it's a little sharper. Nice smooth transition. And that is our new Morgain. So let's look at the old Morgain and you will see instantly why we did this. So I will do a bit of a flicker. So here's new, old. So just way too long now when you look at it comparisonly. It's kind of silly looking now. Like that's how much I moved. Gah. I knew there were little things about Morgain's look that were driving me crazy, and I couldn't quite put my finger on it. So I like that way better now. Do I have cam support? Because the cool thing is I got cam in chat, so I honestly love having the player in chat because then I can just ask if they want something changed. You know, that's their shot. It's their guy. So Morgain. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm going to want some kind of music in the background. No pressure. It could be the same track over and over and over again. I don't care what it is. Now, like I said, I did some pre-work for Morgain. The first thing, and it took a long time. Ready? I'll show you how many points it is. It's so many points. Here we go. Here. And I didn't lay out these points, mind you, but look at all that. Each of those points is a marked change. That was our original work path. I set that up for Morgain's suit. That's everywhere where the suit, the red suit, will be. And it's going to be like red leather. But I want to make sure I didn't do any of the straps. I also went on like this leg winch, this leg cinch right here, that I went between laces. This took a while. And I was like, and it's super boring to watch somebody lay out a path with a selection tool. So I was like, I'm not going to submit the chat to that for any reason. So I'm going to archive. Has my screen been frozen? My brush style selection? Or is it just you? I don't know. Has it? Let me move my screen and see what it says. No, it's just you. I just checked. Okay, so that's that. I'm gonna. That's old Morgain. I don't know if I'll need him, but I'll write down original. It's not true. I already tweaked it again. Original artwork. And I'll just archive that because you never know when you need to come back. And I'd rather, for redundancy's sake, let it exist, because with Photoshop you want to play it, you know, safe, so to speak. I don't know. Hey, arters, or non-arters as the case may be. I'm not sure where you're at. Bandolier of Picks. That was specifically a gem built for Cam's enjoyment. It really was. I had a lot of fun, especially the arrow tips. I want to get the arrow tips in there, these little extra arrowhead tips. That's not even necessarily canon. Like, he has cool arrows, but we never like bothered to do different kinds of cool tips. And just so you know, Cam, I know exactly what these three styles of tip do. And you have them if you want to know. So bring it up in game and I'll let you know what they do. I'm treating them like Kodo's different weapons where they're not magical, but they do cool things. Like Kodo's big hammer isn't magical, but it's like masterwork. And because it's a dragonborn weapon, we've decided that that on a crit, that hammer of his damages the armor of his opponent and reduces their armor class by 1. It cannot do it continually. Once it does it once to one target, it cannot do it to the same target again. So it's not much, but it's pretty cool. Anything that appears in the character art is canon and exists for the most part. I'm pretty sure everybody is updated to current, with the exception that technically Koto's armor's all wrong now because he's built it himself. But yeah, I like doing that. So, here comes the leathers. This is, no, it's not a Rambo exploding tip. No. Okay. So here, this was a tiny journey. You guys get to see some funness now. So I'm going to make, Morgain take a break. Go away, Morgain, take 5. So this gentleman I found online, and he came from a leather store that was selling this coat. And I found every view of this dude, and I was like, it was gold. It took me like 20 minutes to a half hour online to find this. And you're like, how could it take that long? You'd be surprised. I end up having to be a scavenger like a vulture trying to find images that are going to do exactly what I need. And the best part is I loaded this thing into Photoshop and it's like, no. Photoshop was like, I'm not doing it. And the reason why was some BS about the file extension for a JPEG being incorrect. Like it couldn't load this thing that was listed as a JPEG for reasons that were an error code in Photoshop I've never seen before. But it's not uncommon, Photoshop users, if you've never messed with it, or if you have and you felt my pain, that file types are kind of a pain in the ass with Photoshop. Because Photoshop is like a Swiss Army knife. It's normally able to open up multiple file types and not have a problem. So the question is not, can it open it? The question is, how many hoops do I have to jump through to get Photoshop to open this file type? So I actually had to take these jackets, Cam, because they were so awesome, and run them through an online file converter to turn them back into a JPEG, and then to not lose compression so they don't become too pixelated. And you can see, like, at this stage right here, they don't look great. But hopefully, like, zoomed out, it'll be nice. Anyway, that's what your jacket comes from, this dude, who actually, if you find him online, it looks like Almost Will Wheaton. So that's his name. His name is Almost Will Wheaton. So Almost Will Wheaton, his jacket has been, I pulled his torso from this one. And as you can see right here, I've already warped his torso. The torso warping was done. I'll put the coats away. The torso warping was done with opacity down. If you look, I wanted the zipper of the jacket to flow with the seam on Morgain's torso of his suit. I tried to get the collars to match. It just didn't quite go. And below the belt, I'm not keeping it. I'm just going to toss that because we're going to build the lower legs out of an extension of actually probably arms. Because if I build the pants out of sleeves, it'll just look more correct. So, here we go. Here's my magic part that I just love doing because it makes it look so kick-ass the first time out. We're going to make a selection. Boom. And double checking. I'm going to be happy with what I see. I think I will. Floating over here. I got to grab a selection tool. And now I'm going to layer via copy. And then I make this one go away. And now I put a multiply on that one. So the lines cut through. And look at that. That's so fucking sweet. What's up, Pika? Howdy. And that right there, it's already looking, vaguely Deadpool colors. Which was kind of the vibe I liked for Morgain. Because what I like tonally from Deadpool in that sense is, yes, Deadpool's suit, as we know from the movie, was done in practicality, so you can't tell if he's bleeding. But I love that Deadpool runs around the battlefield in a bright red uniform, so it's painfully obvious where he is. So he's like both a badass and a bit of a court jester. And that is cutting the humor, but bringing in the theatricality. That's not that far off tonally from where Morgain lives, You just take the same concept of trying to maintain attention and be the star of the show while also raining death on his enemies in the forms of arrowheads. That's not a bad way to be. Plus, I like the idea that as his arcane archer stuff expands, he's just a flash of red on the battlefield from far away, and then all of a sudden doom, death, or strangeness happens as an arrow comes screaming in, and that's pretty cool. And then, you know, when the shit hits the fan, he steps into full view and he's got the guitar out, and then it's over. So at some point as we work on this, say goodbye to the lower half cam. Boom. See, that looks already better. Let's see. So I've got a weirdness right here. I'm gonna probably come in and get the seam perfect with a liquefy, because otherwise it's going to drive me bonkers pants. I am going to cut the wide collar here because actually, no, I kind of need to, because there's a hood. So I'm going to deal with that in a different fashion at a later time. That's going to be a whole nightmare in a weird way. So, Cam didn't lose his junk. He just lost his pants. So here we go. I'm going to jump into liquefy. Liquefy is the queen of what warp tries to do. It gives us hyper control, like control to a level that is dangerous. No one needs that. No man should have that level of control. So I want to use only illustration copy. And I want it behind. And I want the opacity. I want to be able to see them both. Okay. Now I'm going to use forward warp. And literally I'm moving up the zipper line and just scooching it over. And the funny thing is with liquefy is it really actually matters based on the metric of pressure and density, where you target with the brush. And by where, I mean, if you're picking the thing you're moving to be the center or the edge of the brush, will alter whether it retains its pixels or starts to stretch its pixels. So it's kind of an interesting little, that's some nerd-tasticness right there for y'all that no one asked for. I wish I could keep that big collar, but we gave you a hoodie instead. Why a hoodie? Honestly, it's a Green Arrow nod. Green Arrow has had two famous suits. And the show Arrow pulls from his lesser famous suit. The famous suit looks like Robin Hood with the hat. But the one everybody liked visually, it just didn't make a lot of sense necessarily for an archer, maybe, is the hooded Green Arrow. And the hooded Green Arrow visual was introduced in a run called the Longbow Hunters. And in the Longbow Hunters, it's the first time he donned the hooded look. And there it is, kids. And I love the hooded look for an archer. I just like it better. I think the idea is it gives them tunnel vision, which isn't good for somebody approaching them from the side, but allows them to focus their vision on something. Focus on their target. And so I fit in a hood into Morgain, just so he has one there. And who doesn't like a hoodie? So let's see. I got 100% there. I'm going to convert it to normal. No, I'm not. It's a terrible idea. So that's that. This is not quite what I want though. So I'm going to do some trimming here. I'm going to run up here. What do I want to do? You know what? Before I get all cutting crazy and removing stuff there. We're going to call that suit torso. Keep that safe. We're going to toss the one we cut it from. We're going to make a file called clothes. Not a file, sorry. A subfolder in the layers window. Dropping that in there. Keeping sources shut for now. Don't need it. Now we're going to work on sleeves, and from that we'll build the upper torso. So that's a bunch of arms, right? And already from those arms, I've taken one, the center one, flipped it and warped it slightly. And then I've taken this one, which is actually this one, warped the other way, flipped, and then I bent the elbow and repurposed it, and remerged it. So this would be a seamless connection right here. I wanted to have that ready to go so we can just do this. So now I'm going to take the arm. Nope. I'm going to keep it where it was. It was in a good spot. Set down the opacity so I can see both. And now we're going to do a warping party. I don't actually need the whole sleeve, as you can see. I just got to bring it down to a size that'll match what I'm going for here. And the way I want it cut, I like that. I like that maroon to come up from the underside. I can hit a fold and then make it seem like it was always there. I made big claims yesterday that I'm going to run for 3 hours, y'all. I can't. I can't. I told my wife, I was like, yeah, I got a 3-hour stream. She's like, why did it become 3? I was like, I don't know. Because I'm overzealous. So we're gonna clock it at 7. Yeah, 5 to 7. So I'll give everybody a breather, and then later on tonight, is it 9? You guys are starting video games, or is it 8? You guys doing Z? I'm waiting for the chat to tell me what they're gonna do, and by the chat I mean the TT2KB guys. 9 Central Standard Time. Okay, now I like this, but I want more of the folds in there, so I'm punching this up. Bring in the warp. Sadly, we're not gonna have this maroon cuff. That's just gonna be gone. I just want to collapse in the folds here because I got it look like Morgain rolls up his sleeves to free his arms, just for a little bit more tension and to let himself, because those arms are a very delicate instrument for an archer. Got to free him up when you can. And look at that. Looks great. So now I'm going to take my suit work path, and now flicker to check for work. I'm going to do a layer via copy of the sleeve this time. So now it's exactly what we did with the torso, but now we're doing it with the sleeve. Layer via copy. And then I can vanish that, and I can set it to multiply, and look at that. That is nice. Now, our reds don't match. Don't worry about it. It's the exact same coat. It's from the exact same source. It's a lighting issue. It's because this arm was more in light. With a brightness contrast adjustment and with a couple other adjustments, we can make that perfect. So I'm not too concerned. This crossover is a little worrisome, so I'm going to tweak that and get what I want versus what I don't. I'm going to bring the opacity up. And torso. I really like that maroon. So I think I'm going to have that come in. Here, I'm going to clip it off. I'm going to bring up, we're going to do some interesting stuff. Okay, well, not interesting. It's just micromanaging the stuff you guys have already seen me do. So I've got a layer mask up. So again, what I'm doing is not a permanent choice, but I'm just going to use a selection tool to come in and select where the cutting will occur. And I'm going to stick along these fold lines. And now, with this selection tool, I have quarantined, too close to home, this section of his sleeve. So if I just dump black paint inside the layer mask, black makes layer mask objects vanish. So then it goes away. So it's still technically there if I change my mind, but the cool thing is it's a nice sharp cut. Normally I don't like a sharp cut, but I can paint in to make it look like stitching or a slight shade there, so it's a change. Hopefully it won't have to be too bad. And now I'm going to take the sleeve. Ooh, wait a minute. Getting ahead of myself here. Got to go back in time, kids. Got to go back in time. So I got that layer mask still up. Okay. Need that. Dick bungle. Let me go get him. His face is upside down, so hold on. Well, which one? I'll do either one. I don't care. Sorry, I'll go get either guy. You choose, Pika. If you want Dig, or if you want Aberdeen Deer Rumpel Van Kandengard III, I can get either one you want. So, here we go. I'm going to grab torso. Torso. That's interesting. Okay, let me go get him, Pika. Hold on. Hey, Aberdeen, are you busy? Well, I cannot say that I am. Do you want to come over here and do some Photoshop for the crew? Well, I rightly do believe that I will. Well, come on over then. Oh, yes. Well, now, it seems we're looking at, who is this character? Well, this is Morgain. Well, I don't know if I can work on this gentleman here. Let's take a good look at his fist. Oh, well, now, this character don't look like he got a mighty fist. Looks like some little delicate fist there. But there's no account for taste. So I'm going to go to the suit torso layer. And I got this sectioned off here. But now I'm going to shut off my quarantine. I'm going to shut off my sleeve. Now I need to get rid of this here collar. It's got to go. Because it's creating these strange shadows. I don't want to see them. So, there's no need to apologize for that, Pika. There's no need for that at all. So I'm going to come in here, grab clone stamp. Now, clone stamps, y'all know, is, well, she the workhorse of Photoshop. She gets it done. She comes in there, and she paints one part in another part. So I'm going to grab this as my source area. Right above this flow line of stitching. I'm going to start to paint right there. Oh, I don't like that. It's too bold. I got to bring it in nice and slow. I got to slow my flow down now. Yeah, So I'm going to come in here. And I'm going to right let it flow up here. Just doing a slight paint away. Making them stitchings go away. That's right. And I'm going to bring up this here. Bring this up here. Now, what you want to avoid now, we're already kind of getting to, so I got to play it careful now, is you do not want to have too much of the same area over and over again, or else the area starts to look patterned and not natural. It starts to look like, oh, well, I smell some clone stamping going on there. And you do start to notice that the more you learn about that Photoshop, the more Oh, you can see that Photoshop. Now, I want to stay in the right lane, so I'm going to put up a selection so I cannot go through this area right here. I can't. I'm quarantined from it. So my clone stamping can't stamp inside that area. No, it can't. Oh, you might have that there like, this clone stamp right now is an angry bull. And instead of coming up to a little findlay fence right here, oh, he coming up to a concrete wall. He ain't going through there. He may try. He gonna lose. So I'm gonna come up through here with my clone stamping. And I don't want to smell it. No, sir. Now, this collar and these corners. This is a bit of a conundrum. Here's my dilemma. I do rightly kind of like... Well, let me see before I make my decision. Well, no, that does cut right over now, don't it? Yes, it does. Well, I think we're going to lose them bits. So then I don't got to worry about either too much now. What's the other one do? Let's see what the other one does. Oh, she come on up over. Well, that don't look right at all. Well, I got a bit of decision making to make then. Well, alright. What am I going to do here? Well, I'll flow into that maroon, and I'll use that seam there. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. So, now right here, I got myself this leather. Now, this leather, I'm going to set down my flow a little lower so it comes in real soft like. Real soft. Not trying to push nobody around. Just trying to sidle on up. Have a conversation. Real civil like. Say, hey now, what you doing at this cotillion? I think we all know your daughter ain't got no business being here calling herself a lady. Your boy been running around town all over the place, and you say you're going to come to a cotillion. I think twice then. I don't know where I'm going with this, because I certainly don't know nothing about no cotillion, but I'm going to try. But my clan do know an awful lot about fisting. Oh, we practice that day and night. Just laying down fists. All right. Now, I'm going to keep this maroon here and this maroon over here. Well, I don't rightly know now. I would not go about to say that I'm from Louisiana proper. You know what? I would say that though Levi does try to nail certain dialects, I would not rightly know what particular southern dialect I'm doing. I do know it is not Kentucky, and it is not Tennessee. I've heard both, and what I'm doing right now would be a gross exaggeration of either. I would probably say I'm a touch of Georgia, but not as sweet, maybe. So I don't rightly know. I can't say I know my southern dialect so good, or that Levi does. Now, I know mine. Oh, I know where I'm from. That's right, I do. So, I got to paint in what I got to do here. There's some custom work right here, children's. So, I got to come in. No, it's too sharp. That's too sharp. I got to come in soft and clean. With a small brush, we're going with a forward. We'll come in with low flow so I can control, because I need to replicate this seam coming in as if there was an unnecessary flap of red here now with a button. And now I'm going to come in here. Oh, seems Peak already done did some gambling this morning. Going to wake up in the morning and start off with some gambling. Oh, that Pika, you know how she do. Come in here with some light line work. Punching up that seam there. Coming around. Oh, I like that. Now, I am going to merge that down. That's my little painting job. Now, see, I got a bit of a problem here. This here curves nice and rounded. This here come to a point. We can't have that. So I do believe I might go into a bit of a liquefy for that one. So let's see if our good old friend Madam Liquefy will let us back in without doing the same result. Oh, nope. She done did it. So now I got to, let's see, take this here area. And I gotta tell it, Photoshop, you're gonna convert my layer to a smart object. So she a smart object now. Now, Liquefy let me do whatever I need to do. She a beautiful girl, that Liquefy. She very kindly, very ladylike. Now, I'm gonna zoom in here. I want to be able to see both of these lapels. So I can curve this one in some. I got to bring down the size. Got to find magic size. Now I can't rightly see what I am doing. So I just want the illustration copy behind. And I want my opacity nice and clean. I just want to see what I'm doing. Because the Liquefy, in her infinite wisdom, sometimes try to show you a little bit more than you need. Now I'm starting to get some warping coming around. I don't want too much of that warping. It's starting to create a strange little pinch right here. Moving these pixels around. I might have to paint them out rightly so on my own later. So I'm going to try and move that there button. Just try it a little bit. Well, that ain't too good. That ain't too good either. That brush ain't letting me adjust it in the slightest. I have to use this slider here. I can't use tiny measurements. I wanted to adjust the button. And I want to adjust this button too. But I can adjust that button with a smaller button. Because it's starting to look like a diamond over here. And that won't do. We're going to bloat it out as well. But just a tiny bloat. Just a little. I'd like to see that our new system of fighting over points there, leading to some gambling of points. Now, I do love myself a good wager between honorable peoples. So, there you go. Now, let's see here. I do not like that they are not level with one another. I want to get it so they seem like they level. This is looking rightly dirty. But I got that curve in there, which I wasn't going to be able to do before. Now, I think I can do the rest by my lonesome here. So I think I'll go back. And that's what changed. I'm trying to replicate that lapel. Now, I did not know I'd be spending 20 minutes on a lapel. Easily less than 2% of the surface area of this artwork. And yet here we are. Here we are. Now I'm going to rasterize this layer. Oh, use rasterize now. And I'm going to come in here with a nice soft edge clone stamping. just to bring a little bit of normalcy. Some of the pixels, not too stretched now. Make that go away. Bring some of this. Oh, I do like that. Oh, I do. Now I'm going to make a layer above so I can bring in that subtle touch to hide what I've been doing. Because you ask yourself, any illusionist worth their salt, like that boy, Skeezer Zook Turin. I heard he's quite adept at porcupines. He pleases them, makes them congenial, so to speak. Now, any good illusionist worth their salt will tell you, you gotta really keep a soft touch. You gotta make sure that your stuff comes in just about right. Nice and easy. Easy peasy. I like that. It looks real. And real is what we're looking for. Now, I gotta remove the red where the hoodie is, or else it's gonna get in my way. So, I gotta look at the hoodie. There you are, hoodie. Now, my illustration copy, I bring my tolerance up for the magic wand quite high. So all this grit and grime of this little, these little gray marks are the original pencil marks that done come up because the scanner picked them up as well. Now, as you can see here, some of them's dirty enough to cause the magic wand to not acknowledge their existence, and that's a bit of a dilemma now. I believe I will also, you know what? I was doing this all wrong. I believe I set up the suit. Nope, I did not. I'm a fool. I need to do this the other way. You know what? I will do this in reverse. I believe that will work just fine. So, here's what we will do. I'll come in here not with a magic wand, because if I don't use magic wand, I don't got to use the tolerance. So, I'm going to come in here with polyagonal and select it myself. Come in here, grabbing this here, and I'm about to remove from my work path selection the entirety of the hood. If I can do that nice and clean like, well, then this will go off without a hitch. And now I'm going to zoom out. So I'm in essence selecting the remainder of the suit away from just the hood and where I started. So all I have left is the hood selection. Coming in here. Now if I do this right, oh, look at that. Look at that now. That's lovely. That is lovely. So I brought back suit torso. Now I'm going to delete. So now I just got the bare hood. Now bare hood's looking real nice like. Real nice like. Now let's look at that original issue that we had with the new sleeve. Now, I want to bring in that maroon real nice. But I want it to stop right here. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring in both with a normal. So you can see them both clean. No multiply. Multiply would let the dark lines of the illustration show through. I don't want that. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to paint away the sleeve on the sleeve layer until I see how much. Do 100% flow, which is going to cut it away. See how much I want to go to and where I want to stop. So there's the button and the lapel. But up here, I'm going to need that sliver for this to look nice and clean. So again, I'm going to paint it right back. Now, here's where I'm going to hit a dilemma. So there's my stitching, and it hits the lapel right there. So I need to make it look like that edge is there. And then I'll flip it. Okay, take a look. That's not bad. I'll take that. It almost looks like the lapel would lift somehow. Maybe allowing to Morgain to remove the sleeves and go sleeveless if he so chose. But I don't know about that. We'll see. Now, I do not like how this looks down here in the slightest. So I'm going to paint away. We'll see how that looks. I'm going to go with a lower flow, though, and come in with a softer brush. Real soft like. See how much of the original maroon I can stand to leave in. Oh, it's got some nice pull marks in there. So, well, I think just striking a pose and then using your arcane archer abilities to just have a leather tank top. Just boom! I can't think of something that's more 80s hair metal than leather tank top. Leather tank top, big hair, Morgain rocking out. And to quote Patton Oswalt, in a factory that only produces sparks, while thousands of beautiful women dance many, many miles away in a completely alternate location, while only the band rocks out in a spark factory, all wearing leather tank tops. Now that right there is about the straightest thing I can think of. So, come in here. I'm going to paint with a clone stamp. Bring up my flow now. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to want to come in here and clone stamp it. Now, what is going on right here? What is going on right? Oh, I know what's going on right here. Apply my layer mask first. Of course, of course. Now it's going to do it. Got that nice. Look at that. I am liking that. Bring that down a little bit more. I like that a little bit more. Now, flicker. Okay, that's real good. Now, I'm going to shut off my selection. Bring back up the layer mask. I like trailing off with this maroon on the lower part, but I'm going to go in here. Maybe erase that down so it's a nice clean sliver. Bring up my hardness. Bring down my brush size. Best part is this whole process is now the rest of the gentlemen can see just how long it takes to do one of these. Because it ain't a quick process. No, no, no. It is quite slow. Quite slow. Now we're working on the other sleeve. Actually, let's add that sleeve. No, I got to color balance them. I can't get ahead of myself now, can I? So, I'm going to go to this other sleeve here. Let's take a look at our torso and put it back on a multiply layer. And now, my son Ever's behind me, playing Portal 2.
No, I'm playing Apex.
He's playing Apex Legends. Now, son, I'm going to need you to pipe the music through your ear and turn the volume down entirely on the television. If you be so kind, would you kindly do that for me, boy?
Yeah.
All right there, boy. That's a good boy. He's a good boy. Yeah, despite the fact that it's the quarantine and there are days in this family that we're all trying to kill each other, right now I gotta say my family's been getting along just fine lately. Just fine. So I'm gonna flow along with polyagonal right here. I only want to capture this red part of the sleeve. I want to leave that fold right. Oh, well, look at that there, Morgain. Look at that. I have buttons between folds. Well, that right there's a problem is what that is. I will address that later. I might remove those maroon buttons, because that's just a silly location to have a button. Or a snap. Now, suit torso, go away. Alright, you go away now. Yes, I'm not liking that there. I'm going to have to... This is what we call a happy accident. At the same time, it's a bit of a conundrum, because I got these buttons here that now I kind of like. But now, because I like these buttons, I'm going to have to illustrate new black lines to accommodate what the actual leather is doing. So it's one of those where we found something better, but now we got to illustrate a little bit more to make sure it looks correct. It accommodates correctly. So we'll get back to that. First, let's lay out that sleeve, and that'll be some final touches. All right, now, where's that sleeve at? No, not you. Yes, there you are. So, okay, now. Move it aside. Now, I'm going to have that underside slope down. We might cheat it a little bit. Or fake it, so to speak. I'm going to zoom in here and clone stamp out that button. I'm going to have to use a smaller clone stamp than the button, or it's going to smell like you can sense that there's some clone stamping going around. And don't nobody want to be able to smell no clone stamping. Any illusionist worth their salt will tell you, if you sense the illusion is real, you, sir, are not an illusionist. No, you ain't. You call yourself that all day, but you ain't. We all know. Oh, we all know. Whole town knows. I don't know if you know the whole town knows, but it knows. Call yourself an illusionist when you're cutting corners. Now, let's see here. So, first, we got to make this slightly transparent so we can see both it and the sleeve. Do always have rightly wrong time with that level of zoom. It always jumps between 100 and 200%, and I need, sometimes I need 140. So I can see my target and also what I'm trying to work with here. Maybe I need myself a 130. All right, that looks nice. Now I'm bringing a warp. Okay, now let's see. Move this. Want to widen that up. I want to cover, but I got to bend this around and start to move it down. Now, why do I got to start to move it down? I want them folds of leather in where I already illustrated some folds of leather, because when my drawing and the natural lighting exist, the two will symbiotically enhance one another. It'll look as if they was always meant to be that way. And that right there is good illusionism. Now, it is at this strap with the arm guard. And that arm guard is because, as we well know, and I did ask, Morgain is right-handed. Now, Aberdeen, why do you need to know if Morgain is right-handed? I need to know because if I'm going to have an archer that is not right-handed, then he would have this arm guard on the other arm, because this is where at various times, because the left arm is extended, the bowstring snaps the forearm. It's not a pleasurable experience. I have held that. I have felt that more than one time. So, because of that now keep in mind, this gentleman is also a musician. So that fret hand has to be very accurate and protected. We can't have the tendons that lead to that beautiful hand damaged by a bowstring. So there was a lot of thought into the left-right design of Morgain to consider for an archer, for example. A lot. I put up this shoulder shield mini pauldron effect. And why? The idea is he will be looking past this all the time, as if a tiny shoulder guard, as if the enemy be facing him, so then this would be something that could potentially protect him. I place these tiny daggers here on the left because we got to free up that right arm completely. That right arm has to have nothing on it, because it is constantly drawn, it's strumming, it is drawn, it is throwing. And so everything was designed with that in mind. Now, why put the arrows here at the thigh? Well, because like a lot of the internet, I saw the Lars Anderson YouTube. Now, if you do not know what I'm talking about, you really should take a moment to look at it. Lars Anderson is a Scandinavian gentleman that took it upon himself to master bowcraft, looking at the most ancient texts on bowcraft. And those ancient texts are not from Europe. They are from the Middle East, which is said to be, at the time, masters of the craft. And so, Lars Anderson decided to teach himself from ancient texts, and if you watch the videos, what he can do is amazing. And amongst those things, it shows him running through the woods with a quiver on his back, with arrows in it, jumping around, and trying to hold a bow at the same time, and it is comical. It is comical. It also shows him with him on the side pouch, and it's just as comical. And it also shows that instead, archers would keep the arrows low, not across their back, so they could just grab with the right hand, draw, and release in the same motion. It also says that archers would just grab the arrows in the right hand, run with the bow in the left hand, and then draw and fire multiple arrows at the same time. If you watch that video, it will change how you think about archery. I will show you briefly what it looks like, because it is worth the time to look at. I do truly recommend it. This gentleman right here, Lars Anderson 23, Impossible Archery. If you watch any of these, it will change how you view the whole thing, to the point that, and here's where I am validated. There was a new Robin Hood movie. And that new Robin Hood movie that starred Jamie Foxx, and somebody help me out, he was in Kingsman as the lead, and he starred as Elton John in Rocket Man, and his name currently escapes me. Taron Egerton. No. Yes. No. Help me out here. Help me, internet. Help me with your witchcraft. Let's see here. Rocket Man. Starring, oh my, where you at? Taron Egerton, yes. All right, Taron Egerton in the Robin Hood movie was trained. They wanted for the Robin Hood movie, Robin Hood as the best archer in the world to do the best archery things that anybody could do. So guess who they hired to train him? Lars Anderson. Why? Because the same people saw the same videos on YouTube, to the point that if you watch Lars Anderson first, and then you watch that Robin Hood movie with Taron Egerton, you see Taron do all the same stuff Lars does, Just not as good. So, skip the movie and just instead watch Laws. He trained him and he's still better. So here is my new sleeve. I'm telling you, you will look at archery completely different. If you haven't seen it, Cam, you are doing your disservice to yourself as an archer character. That's all I'm saying. It's worth the watch. You will enjoy it. Now I'm going to flicker this here shoulder. Okay, make sure I got it right. I'm on the right layer. I got a selector going. I'm going to grab it, Levi copy, and then vanish. Now comes in real interesting tidbits. Oh yes, Cam is watching it right now. He is crazy. He is crazy. It is worth your time to literally stop watching me and watch him. That's how good it is. Now, TT2KB would disagree with me and they'd say, don't hurt our view counts. Don't do that, Levi. And I'm saying, I don't care. Lars Anderson is not human. Now, what did I just do? Oh, I merged down. Now, what I love is he's a gentleman that was so nerdy about being perfect at archery, he decided to go back to ancient texts, not modern anything, not modern archery, ancient texts, read them, translated, and just learn from a book, and now he's the greatest archer in the world. Oh, yes. No, he is amazing. I would dare say Lars Anderson with a bow is an equally matched deadly opponent to any idiot with a gun. Now, I say idiot. If you could put a trained Navy SEAL with a gun, I don't know what to tell you. Now, so what was I doing? I need to erase where this cuts over. So I got this sleeve. Yes, I do. I'm going to set to multiply. Oh, now look at that. Look at them folds in the leather with the illustration. You see what I'm talking about with how the two enhance? Oh, I know I pat myself on the back every damn stream about this, but I gotta tell you, I just love this little trick of mine. I love it too much. Steal the texture, let it do the work for you, enhance it, add a little bit of paint over, hide what you done. Oh, it's almost too perfect. It's like a crime. Oh, now, Cameron. That right there is your top. Now, it ain't done. I have to do some color matching, some enhancing, but that right there is Morgain's top. That is amazing. I'm loving that. And he's going to be a welcome addition to the lineup of characters, if you haven't noticed. It's a predominantly cool color scheme. We got a Balrin as green. We got a Koto that is mostly grays and blues. And then we got a Fulcrum that is a slightly tonally different blue. And then we got a Skeezer, a pop of goldish color and purple color. So we got Morgain coming in here with a bit of red. It's going to feel like a very full color palette. He's going to be a nice color counterweight, so to speak. So I'm going to bring in the suit to normal layer. And I got to erase these buttons now. I know I love the buttons too. I love them. But this button's got to go. Bit of a problem. Thought it was so beautiful, but now I don't know. So what I'm going to do is clone stamp. And now I'm going to clone stamp it away. So cautious and gentle with a low flow. Got to hide my stamping. Can't let the others smell it. Can't let them know what I'm up to. Can't let them sense my chicanery. Oh, and I got me some chicanery, childrens. So, coming in here, erasing this. Oh, look at that. You would never know. It's as if I came in there with a fist and just punched that button away. Oh, you been punched, button? It's a punch button. You touched one before. You know what I'm talking about. Now, well, I rightly think there that I can bring about both sleeves and the torso into the same layer, and now we got ourselves a right good upper torso. So that's that one. I do like it. I'm going to merge it down. I'm going to erase this one. Go by sleeve. Goodbye other sleeve. Now I'm going to keep this sleeve source, this like sleeve tree up here, if you will. I'm going to keep them. I might need them for legs. That's no joke. We're going to build legs out of arms. It's not that hard of a difference, honestly. You're just increasing the diameter. You're going to have it taper a little bit sharper because, thighs are considerably of a greater diameter than a calf muscle, an ankle, or a knee. But in all other respects, cloth that wraps around legs with a little bit of fold or cuff is not that entirely different from a design standpoint as what arms do. So we're going to keep them and then use them for the legs. Now, the crotch area is going to be a bit of a trick because the way the pants are folded, because he's in such a wide stance, creates odd folds of leather. So that we're going to have to eyeball. That's going to be a little tricky now. But I think I can make it work. I do have some ideas in mind without making it too strange, without making it unnecessary. Now, so I got to merge this down. Merge down. All right, then. Now it took on the new layer. Now I'm going to drag it down into the closed layer. And, I know what I said. I heard what I said. And I have you know, I don't know about no Levi. He's in the other room now. Hey, Levi. Yeah, what's going on? They're trying to say you looking at Morgain's crotch. Well, I'm not. I'm watching Ever play Apex Legends. He's kicking ass. See that right there? You're a bunch of liars. Bunch of liars. My name is Aberdeen Deer Rumble Van Camden God the Third, and y'all have no respect. Now, I did notice the buttons like I said before. Now, I'm going to want to illustrate, to change the illustration copy. I'm going to duplicate the layer. Because, why? Because you always work on a clone now. You always work on a clone. Why? They don't have a say in the matter now, do they? Now I'm going to alter the illustration to allow for this here flap and the button. So I'm going to work on this layer with a nice white brush. Now, but see, now, when I paint on this layer, you're not going to see white. Why? Because you are looking at the suit torso, which is layer above. So when I paint this color white through that line, get 100% flow there. Through that line, it goes away. If you have the suit torso in front on a multiply layer, all you see is I'm perfectly vanishing only black lines. You're like, well, I wonder how he's doing that. Well, you just saw how I'm doing that, didn't you now? Unless you're not paying attention. Now, I'm going to pull back on these folds a little bit. Try and just paint them down. Get them a little sharper. So they dissipate. Make that one go away entirely. Maybe pick up on this side. Oh, I rightly like that. Now this one has to go, because that interrupts with the flap itself. Now come over here, give this side the same treatment. Now this looks just ridiculous. It looked good on paper, but then when I add this flap here, these would not be here. This breaks the reality we are trying to craft with our illusion. This here breaks our fourth wall. This here breaks our fourth wall harder than a Jeff pancake. So, coming in here, And I'm going to cut that down. So, oh, he knows what he did. He's my resident fourth wall breaker. He knows how it is. He'll be the first one in the middle of the game. He'd be sitting there going, and then somebody walks up and gives us a quest. And they tell us where to go. And I'm like, well, maybe they do and maybe they don't. Maybe you got to go talk to somebody first. So now, I'm going to go to this layer here. I want to grab the core color, because even this layer here, being on top of this black line, is altering the black line's color. So if I were to sample this black line color from my brush, it would actually be darker. Well, I guess it's just the West world in all of us, ain't it now? Where is your reality? Okay, so I'm going to grab a brush, a much smaller brush. 7 pixels is too much. Looks like 3 is going to be my magic brush. Oh, well, it do seem to be that my time with y'all has come to a conclusion. I gotta go off and get someone else to pick up on the stream now. So I hope you did have a wonderful afternoon or evening with your loved ones, your friends, in this strange time we're living in. Go sit on your porch, pull up a mint julep, and watch the herons come flying down and land in the bog in your front yard. Maybe go frog gigging later. That's a good night. All right, then. Y'all have a nice night. Yeah, they won't bring in the little crazy one. What? What do you mean? Which one? Which crazy one? The one that was dumb and now he's not dumb no more. Oh, okay. Hey, Tonko, you busy?
No.
You want to take over?
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Ah, okay. Yes! I am a Photoshopper! So, what is going on? Oh, I'm painting stuff, I guess. So, sample, and torso, and I'm still working on the clone. Huh, clone. A little too close to home. So I am now going to make it look like it's actually drawn in the first place and sort of planned. So I run with the seam there. And then around the button. That looks nice. Like it was meant to be that way. And the same on this side. And I'll happily just run around the seam right here. And around the button. And now when I zoom out, it looks like it was always part of the initial design. Illusion complete. Really jarring before. Didn't entirely like it. Now we have another illusion breaker if you haven't already caught it. And it is this. So we go down the middle here of the zipper. And I got this strap that goes across, but you can see a zipper. So that's got to go. So I'm going to delete this illustration copy. Did I do the wrong one? Nope. And this becomes our new illustration copy. I'm going to try not to touch now. And we're going to work on the torso layer. Just cautiously, hopefully just doing touch-up work so I don't make any major mistakes. This is a brighter area right here where the light is hitting, and I need to make the zipper go away. So I'm going to grab right here with a clone stamp. Close stamp! Now I need to quarantine these off so I don't accidentally hazily clone stamp over a line. It'll look like something is generating an area of colored fog, which will be a giveaway that Photoshop has been used. And you have to sort of watch out for those. The funny thing is, the whole time you work in Photoshop, you are sort of paranoid. People will notice that you've worked in Photoshop. So you almost get more focused on trying to always hide what you do. Now, I also need, because I have sectioned these off, to grab these areas as well. Boo, hold on. These areas as well. Because if I'm going to sample from an area, that also has to be part of the quarantine. Or else it won't let me sample! So, clone stamp, sample. What am I doing? Nope, wrong one, wrong layer, sample. And now the strap and the stitching goes away. Go right here. Now it's a strap. And this right here. Slightly different angle. Goes away. Slightly darker shade. Strap's gone, go away. And now the straps interrupt the zip line. Checking for anything else that might need to occur. Okay. Now, I want to jump ahead and do color brightening, but if the pants are the same material, I shouldn't jump ahead yet. So, what we're going to do is bring back the arms. What do I want to do here? Decisions. Let's think logically here. So I'm going to put a box around this one and section it off from the others by cloning it. That's a bad box. I got to put a good box that is exactly where I need it. Boom! And layer via copy. And this one will be layer via copied, and Poly is going to shave this area off. And layer via copy and go away. And now I'm going to take these two down here. The will be the basis for the arms, for the legs. I just got to figure out how I want to approach. This one is the light source. This is the original pose for these arms on the models. So this arm was hit from the left with light, and this arm was also hit from the left with light. I'm almost tempted to reverse the legs because the tilt looks correct. So I'll put this over here and this over here. And flip, unless I flip the light source as is. No, I like this. So you get to see me bend stuff. Now, do I like this? I do like this. Yes, because this would have a bright highlight and then a dark core. Because this side would get hit light, which works well on this one because this is a nice dark shadow. Okay, I'm thinking. And then this leg right here is bright on this side, which is this side as well. Okay. So move this here. Now I got to turn this into a straight leg. This arm has to become a leg. So I'm going to take Poly and pull along a fold of leather in a shadow following the line curve, and then writing on the outside here, because that will be an easy transition for me to manipulate and cut and use later. And now I'm going to layer via cut, not copy. Nope, that's dumb. Copy. And I'm gonna free transform and rotate. And what's weird is it's gonna look like a Pac-Man or a knee, or like his arm is doubling, like the scene in Infinity War when Doctor Strange grows multiple arms. Ooh. Now, that is the bend I need about. Yeah. Yes. I can't tell. Hold on. I gotta mirror the two. I'm really staring at Morgain's right, but for us, it's the left side of him, but it's his right leg. I'm going to stare at... I need to get rid of that one before he confuses me. And control tilt, and then match the bend of this as thigh and this as foreleg. And I know I'm close, but I've got to be perfect. Why? Because it's Photoshop. Perfection can be achieved. There's no excuse not to. So... and I'm going to move this up to the original area slightly where that could work. Could that work? I like the folds better there. Will this work too, or not? No, I'll have to duplicate too much. I like that. I like that. We're going to go with that. So, now we go in to the original, put up a layer mask so we can erase selectively what we want to get rid of, and in case we change our minds, bring it right back. I'll go with a very high hardness, 100% flow, and just erase. Like I'm eating it away, like it ceases to exist, when in fact it's actually still there. I don't like when you get too big of a brush because the imaging processor suddenly gets a little hiccups and it can't quite erase as fast as you're using the tool, so it jumps out in these chunks, and then you overshoot your mark and you make a mistake and you feel like an idiot, and yay, Photoshop. Okay. So I'm going to not apply that layer mask in case I change my mind. Put a layer mask up on this chunk and then selectively paint away. But now I'm going to use a soft brush and I'm going to work real close so I can blend and make these two seem to be the same cloth perfectly and seamless. So low flow and 0% hardness, and a black brush will make it a really soft eraser. So I can just paint away the edge. And good illusion takes time, and a good eye, and patience. And that right there looks like good illusion. So, I'm going to... I'm just going to merge down. It'll force both layer masks to apply. Yes, apply. There, first leg. Second leg. This bend is actually pretty close to what we need, actually. Already. I don't think I have to do anything. Look at that. That's crazy. Okay. So, again, the crotch area is going to be a construction that will actually be weird and kind of tricky. But I have ideas, so I'm not worried. Oh, I'm not thinking. I got boots, so... My drawn folds will probably have to change. They are going this way, and they go this way. So I'm going to do the exact same thing I did with the buttons before and erase my own illustration and alter said illustration so it matches the texture that I found. So in that way, the illustration will be enhanced by. Now we're getting some real specifics here, so we got to jump to warp. Warp is magical. Let's see. I gotta stay. Really want that to at least hit mid-thigh. So it's got almost like a cowboy chaps kind of look to it. I gotta warp this up. That it goes behind the guitar straps, the guitar neck, so you can't see it. There will come a time after we get done with Morgain's suit, which is like the big focus, because actually we're getting close to the end here. After we get done with Morgain's suit, then we focus on Morgain's stuff, and he has so much stuff on him. And when it comes to the instrument components, like the guitars, wood grain, and the straps, I will be asking the player Cam a lot of questions about what exactly he wants, because beyond the design of the phoenix on the guitar, which was pulled loosely from the original artwork that he found online, then let's warp that into space. I like that. We're going to keep that as is. And you're like, that looks silly. But then the funny thing is, the reason it looks silly to you is because the line work implies that the angle is wrong, because these do not down angle hard enough to look like it's foreshortened away from you. But once I add multiply, watch your brain break. And now it looks right, because these lines curve correctly for perspective, because perspective is everything. Perspective will break your brain every time. So I like this leg, so we're gonna probably cut it now, and I'm gonna flicker, good, and Levi copy, and go away. And it's coming together. Look at that, Cam. The Deadpool suit's coming together. I gotta stop calling it that, but that's honestly what it feels like, because it's almost the same color scheme. Except instead of maroon, he had black. So, here we go. I am going to now work on the other leg. Other leg! Okay. So, let's punch up this guy. Control T. Set a transparency so I can see the original illustration easily. Yeah, I also felt it's also, I don't know how old you are, Pika, but TT2KB, this reminds me heavily of Eddie Murphy Raw with the red leather outfit. I kept thinking that early on, actually. Warp. Oh, good. You're old enough to know what I'm talking about. Trust me, we don't like showing our age with making references nobody knows except us to entertain ourselves. But it is what it is. Problem. Move this down. This is going to be a mess up here. how do I want it to come into that area? It was very stretched, wasn't it? Yes. Yes, that's what it is. That's correct. That's about right. If anybody's a Parks and Recs fan, that show is going to get a pseudo reunion very soon. There's already a promo of Leslie Knope talking to Nick Offerman as if they're both in quarantine, and it's delightful. I already watched it with my kids. Oh, Warp. Why do you tease me? Why do you make things difficult? You're supposed to make things easier. You're Warp. Everybody likes you. I gotta stop looking at that boot because I don't need it. Do I like that? Do I like that? No. This brown should scooch over more. It's too warped this way. Yep, that's better. And that means I gotta pull the red pretty deep. And then collapse the brown in more. Because I want the brown to come in about there. Yeah, I wish him luck, but second floor is bonkers pants. But our run was so rough with the second floor, they're gonna take first place. Like, that's my money. Okay, I'm gonna move this up so I have a little bit more fold action on the bottom. I gotta stop fiddling with this or I'm just gonna keep fiddling with it eternally. All right, I'm calling it at that. All right, everybody. Thanks for having me on. I hope you have a lovely day. Tonko out. They want you back.
Really?
Yeah, they want you back now. But you're really close to done.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Bye. Bye.
Okay. Tonko rocking that voice. So grabbing this with the selection tool, flicker, opacity all the way up, right click with the selection tool. There's so little of that leg. It's so funny. I'm freaking out. Layer via copy, deleted. All right. I'm just going to delete right up the middle here because I know. Well, actually, no, I should take a look at it first on multiply. Oh, that looks pretty much better. We'll run along this seam here. Nope. Hey, Gigadean Graves. And deleted. Thanks for coming by, Gigadean. If this is the first show you've caught us on, you've caught us at a strange time. I'll tell you that. We normally, the focus of our channel is not really art per se, but I'm doing character art for my friends. Oh, see, yeah, he's got it. Hi, I'm Levi. And I do Photoshop of my friends' characters for our D&D gameplay that we play. And we are actually playing this week. Ah, Trevanti, thank you. Or Trevante. Other leg. Deleted. No, what'd I delete? Oh, crap. Hold on. What'd I do? Control Z. Okay. Yes, and deleted. And then I will piece it together. We'll see how that goes. So that's as far as we got for today. That is Morgain, everybody. Oh, hey, I haven't built a Morgain mouth. Woohoo! Yeehaw, Morgain mouth. Because if you're going to talk with a Morgain mouth. Let's see here. Add a new layer. This is my wife's favorite part of the show every time I do this. She's like, it's hilarious. I'm like, it's not that funny. Hey guys, I'm Morgain. Everybody knows I'm the best. No denying that. I've got the song. I like to shoot the arrows that never miss. That's right. And I definitely am the only one able to stun lock the entire battlefield all at once. So really, I guess that makes me the MVP of the party. And ladies and gentlemen, thanks for coming to my first art creation of what I'm going to look like. So now you get a taste of just how good I'm going to look. And I think it's fair to say I'm the best looking one. Yeah. So, as we're wrapping up today, please check out the rest of our stuff. Now, the key to all of this, ladies and gentlemen, is joining our Discord. There you'll be at the communication hub of TT2KB, and you'll get to see a little bit more of Morgain. This is the random show. Welcome to DM2Art. It is only posted in Discord as to when it will occur. Otherwise, you just gotta find it on your own. Because Levi doesn't care about scheduling. Because he doesn't care. However, we have excellent scheduled programming for the rest of the week. Monday is Wisdom Check, a talk show. And our next upcoming guest is Alex Gygax, son of Gary fucking Gygax. And Levi's probably going to poop from excitement. And Tuesday, my player, Cameron, runs a show called Bardic Knowledge that was the inspiration for this show, where instead of art, he makes individual music he composes for each character. And Cam knows how to make music. How do you know? 'Cause I know. And I'm Morgain! So that leads us to Wednesday nights is the Pathfinder 2e game where Jeff is DM and everybody else plays, and it's too much fun and too silly and involves lots of chat participation. And then that leaves Saturday. This Saturday, about every other week, but airing this Saturday, is the Everstorm, our flagship, so to speak, long-term 5th ed homebrew game. It's the game we've always started with, and the game we'll always come home to. Run by Levi, and starring me, Morgain. So, if you like what you see, why wouldn't you? Come on by. And thank you very much for visiting today at DM2Art. Join the Discord and you'll find out when we air again. Come on this coming Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for a very rare treat. In fact, next week will be a lot of rare treats with Alex fucking Gax. But Sunday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm sure we'll be hosting it. David Lee Pancake, DL Pancake will be the Twitch channel, will be sculpting the members of the group, starting with Kodo. This is crazy. He is amazing, and we are so honored because the source art he's using to make these sculptures was born here on DM2Art. And as Morgain, I am honored that I will someday be, possibly, created to exist, to make everyone else feel so good that they can see me. Morgain! And so with that, we're signing off. Just remember, this is the greatest character to end all characters. Have a nice day.